Okay, hello everybody. Today is Wednesday, February 19th, and I'm just getting around to making Trader Jim's live video from today. Last night I traded the same chart and I set the chart on longs only, and do note that this was in sim as I continue to practice for my combine. And my settings are slightly different than Trader Jim's chart. I'm using a step MA bias filter of 1. I have the step MA fairly sensitive, and I think that was done by mistake actually, but it's okay because the trade worked out today. And I also wanted to show another chart that worked out really well today, and that is the Super 4 with the open range breakout in the step MA. And this is a chart that was one of the better performers on our spreadsheet, and this has been trading quite well. And it also caught this break off the open today. Now what I changed about this is trading 2 contracts with a goal of 500 per contract, and so this hit its goal, and both contracts, one's a runner, but really at 40 ticks it's going to be $1,000, 500 per contract. Okay, let's check out Trader Jim's video for today.
Tuesday the 18th, Globex open. I am waiting for a short trade on this Super 6. Even though they had a nice recovery during the day, they still closed below 96.60, which is slightly bearish. So I do expect some lower price action, not necessarily below today's low, but definitely low enough for me to hit my target on this template. Well, called this one completely wrong. It looks like it's breaking through 60. I am disabling the shorts. Well, sure fooled me. I thought 60 would be a barrier and they would go lower, but that's not to be. They are going higher. So the Autotrader keeps me away from short trades, and that's the beauty of the software. You know, it's possible. You know, if I'm wrong on the direction of the market, I would miss a trade, but at least I am not in the red.
February 20th pre-market. Well, trying along here now, they are above 96.60 convincingly, which tells me they should try for 96.80 and then eventually to 95 and possibly hit that zone of 97.15 sometime today. A bit uncomfortable about this trade only because this area failed before, so they definitely seem to be fairly stable now. They look like they want to go higher. They look like they have no interest in retesting any lower numbers, so let's see how this one works out. Alright, so first target is in. Just trying to decide now if to set my stop at break even. The likelihood at this point of them turning around is fairly small, but I do have to leave soon, and this means I'm going to have to let my son manage this trade, so I might just set it to break even and disengage the longs. This way, if I am stopped out, I'll just take a partial target for the day. So the 19th in the afternoon, 2:30. Again, there'll be no trades in the afternoon today. My kids are home from school. And actually, it was my son who stayed home today who helped me manage this trade. So I hope the recording came out. I didn't look yet. But this is the open range filter, trading one contract and targeting 500. So yeah, this was kind of a scary trade. And again, I was so uncomfortable with this trade because it was taking a long. So this is a 25-point trade, $500 on one contract. A 25-point trade, I would have to take it into, not only into the new highs, but into the zone of 97.15. This is a zone, I believe I mentioned it as early as last week. But here it is. I mean, so 15 was here, and I knew that to go from around 96 or so, 25 points from there is actually above the zone of 15. So what my son helped me do, first of all, I was in touch with him on the phone. He told me what the market was, because if it was too high, I simply would not use this template. And of course, as it turned out, the price went much higher anyway. But at the time, right, when you're over here, when you're here, you don't know what's going to happen. So he helped me manage this trade, which was an interesting experience, because he kept on calling me, right after the entry price just dropped, which was semi-expected. He's like, "No, Dad, we are down," and then but it was nowhere near the stop, and then price went up, and he was thinking, "Well, let's just cut this trade out. Let's just get out at break even." And then I said, no, we're going to stay with it. And then again, price dropped. And again, it's like, oh, Dad, we should have gotten out. And then price went up and kind of stayed up. And then we hit 15 somewhere along here. And he said, well, okay, they hit the zone, so let's just flatten out. And I said, well, no, that the right way to play it is to simply protect ourselves. So just put the stop below the nearest swing that you see. So he picked a swing, and again, I didn't see the recording. I don't know what that swing was, but it worked out. It was obviously low enough not to get hit by any of these retracements, and the trade worked out. When I get into these bigger picture trades, I always ask myself, what is it? Why do I get into the trade? So the reason I was in a trade is because we were trading above 96.60, which is a zone, above 96.80, which is just an area of interest, and even trying to fight above 96.95. Now, 96.95 was the only thing now that stood between the price and the zone of 97.15. So I was very confident in them reaching 15. Of course, once they reached 15, then it became an unknown. They could react the other way. That's definitely possible. They could just consolidate, which it seems what they did is kind of consolidated here for a while, but then broke higher. And so the reason I didn't want to just move my stop to break even or get out early, even though trade went against me at first, was because I had a reason for the trade. And another thing I've been working on is the bigger picture trades. I'm not talking about the Super Renko 6. Super Renko 6 is a different animal. It's a very short time frame for a very specific price. This kind of a trade is more for the day. Do I see the price going higher or price going lower? Given the market condition, I saw price going higher. So if I see price going higher, I am not going to just take a partial target or get out at break even until, of course, we reach this area of 15, in which case I did tell my son to protect ourselves, to move the stop higher, which he did. Apparently, he did a great job because, indeed, the target was hit. So that worked out great. Let's take a look at the zones because we are higher now. Let's take a look at the chart with the zones. So again, as I was saying, since I began to show these zones, is that expect a move from zone to zone. Looks like they just missed that one. And by the way, and of course, looking from the future, it's easy kind of to say, but this here was the first hint of the move much higher because they missed. See, they missed the zone. As I was saying, for me, zones are not support and resistance area necessarily. The fact that they could not get low enough meant they were too strong. And then this kind of bounce, if you can imagine a rubber band, right? This kind of a bounce, because they could not reach the lower zone, all this built up energy had to go somewhere, and it just went higher. So back to the higher zone, some consolidation, up to another zone, some consolidation, testing it again, up to the next zone. So now that we passed 97.15, by the way, 97.15 hardly had any consolidation, which is very bullish. So up ahead, we have right around 97.75. Now, I always try to kind of round numbers to the nearest 5 or the nearest 10, because the actual number is 73, but I'm just going to call it 75. And then above that is 98.10. 98.10 is interesting because for me, it is the highest zone for the week. And just like last week, where the highest zone was at 96.60, I said by Friday 4 p.m. they should trade below it even if they touch it. And this is kind of a similar kind of scenario. If they can get to 98.10, by Friday 4 p.m. they should be below it under normal market conditions. And again, please do not think that these zones mean a trade. Mean like if they get here, take a short. That's not at all. You better confirm any kind of a short from these zones, because this market is strong. If you try to take a short once it reached the 15, I don't think you would have had much luck. These zones do not mean go the other way. If anything, they mean go with the market. So as market goes above it, wait for market to retrace to it, and then look for a long with a confirmation. For me, this kind of a confirmation would be with a Super Earn2Trade. That's just what I like. Speaking of a Super Earn2Trade, so this trade from earlier this morning. Let's see if I can find it. This was the trade. So yeah, I mean, again, once they begin to trade above 96.60, I mean, the next step would have been 80 and then 95. Was very nervous about this trade because, again, 60 was rejected before and 80 was rejected before. So wasn't too comfortable with this trade. Now, someone, I think Terry, did want to see the template for this trade. This is a very simple template. So this is the money management, no offset at all, no kind of pullback. 2 contracts, first target 40, second target 65. No kind of break even, no kind of a trail stop. I do those manually if I see the need to. I would just place manual break evens and trail stops on this template. So exits, precision trend exit is disabled. There is no precision trend exit. This is pretty straightforward. Here you can just take a screenshot. Because I traded during Globex, by the way, there was no session filter. This session filter is at 0, and that's because very often now I traded during Globex. And okay, so this is the setup. Again, not much to say here. This is a very simple template. Do not attempt to trade this template. What I'm saying is don't just let it go. That's not what it's for. I use it for very specific prices, very specific situations. If you just let it go, I don't think you're going to have very good results, because that's not what it was designed for. When I designed this very simple template, it wasn't designed to just trade by itself both directions. All right, well, so that's it for today, and let's see what Globex offers tonight.